After a few rainy, cold days here in Germany in the middle of July that made me forget that summer is actually ongoing, finally the warm temperatures were back and I could continue exploring my Nuremberg neighborhood. This time I drove with the train for only 30 minutes and I was in the little Bavarian town called Pforzheim. This romantic part of the town with canals is called Little Venice, and I was so happy to be here early in the morning to enjoy it without crowd. Pforzheim is nowadays famous for its 10-day-long music beer festival called Annafest that is a very small version of the well-known Oktoberfest in Munich. And for all of you, my friends out there interested in medicine and science, it is interesting to know that Pforzheim is also a place where the future of healthcare already started. It is a town where a new generation of computer tomography scanners, which are now the best in the world, are produced and developed. Anyway, since Pforzheim was not so big to explore, I decided to start my day here productive and creative, so I went to this very nice cafe and pottery shop called Himmel und Erde, or in English, Heaven and Earth, to draw a bit while drinking my morning cappuccino. I was so pleasantly surprised when I saw that this cafe, beside the garden area for sitting, has also this small, almost a bit private room in the back where I can sit and draw without anyone disturbing me. The owner of the cafe was very kind and nice, and she allowed me to spread here on the whole table. I had with me my usual travel go-to drawing material that visited with me already so many countries. And since the day before, I was looking at some of my old photos from our last summer trip to Corfu, Greece. I saw many pics that I made of little kitties that were just running around everywhere on the streets of Greece, so I decided to draw one little baby cat that I had a photo of with me on the phone. These little kitties in Greece were adorable, and Greek people really take care of them very nice. And while drawing this little cat, I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts about creativity. I was reading for the second time the book that I love very much, Big Magic from Elizabeth Gilbert, and the book made me think about my journey of my creative living. If you didn't read the book Big Magic, which I warmly recommend you to do, Elizabeth writes about how to approach our creativity beyond fear in all aspects of our life, no matter if it is writing a book, or traveling, or drawing, or simply trying out new recipes or wearing clothes that we like. Fear is something that we all deal with, and is one of those feelings that, if we allow him to control our life decisions, it can stop us from following our ideas and goals. I remember when I was a child, I was always drawing or painting or writing something, and every time I did anything creative, I would run to my parents to show off with my work. I was never afraid of their opinion or anyone else's opinion. I was just happy to do what I love and share it with the world. But with the years, unfortunately, I lost that childish approach to life, like we all do, and started to compare myself with others, or to be scared of the people's opinion, or to think that I'm not good enough, or that my ideas are not worth of sharing. Life became one very serious and scary place, and it was not a playground anymore. Luckily for me, and years later, I finally started to question myself. Is this really the life that I want to live? Am I forever going to use my excuses of the fear and not do anything that I want to? I realized that I don't want to live such a boring, empty life where I only obsess myself and my loved ones about my insecurities. And my life and personality are definitely not going to be defined by the things that I didn't even try to do, but by the things that I did, no matter of the outcome. And when you think about it, my friends, all those creative fears that we have, like starting a project, failing, sharing it with the world, being compared with others, being judged and so on, are the same fears that everyone around us has, no matter if it is a colleague from school, or a cousin, or a neighbor. Fear is nothing unique to you, nothing unique to anyone. The only unique thing about you is you and your ideas. So the question is, do you want to be like everyone else, or do you want to be yourself? Now, how did I beat my fear? I started doing things that I'm the most scared of, like posting my art on Facebook, or sharing my thoughts online, or filming myself and posting on YouTube, or starting writing short stories, or giving myself new creative challenges all the time, or sharing my travel stories, and so on and so on. To sum it up, I was not hiding anymore. I just started to put my creative work out there in the world. And honestly, after some time, I realized that those fears that I have are really mostly only in my head and have not much to do with reality. No one really cares so much what I'm doing. Everyone is too busy with their own lives, so why wasting time on thinking about what are others going to think? And what if I fail with my ideas? Well, trying, failing, improving, learning, moving on. It is a circle of development, a normal part of creative living. It is just how life works. So the big question is, am I now done with the fear? Of course not. It's just that me and my fear are now best friends, not enemies like before. We learned to work together whenever a new journey or adventure appears. The difference is just that now, when the fear comes, I know what to tell to him, how to encourage myself, how to let go of the fear and continue my path. Does it always work? Of course not. Sometimes me and my fear have to discuss only for a few seconds, sometimes hours, sometimes days. Sometimes fear just doesn't want to give up, especially if it is something completely new and scary, where I'm very little or totally unexperienced. But I know that if me and my fear discuss enough about it, we will overcome it together, sooner or later. Why am I telling you all that? Well, maybe I just want to remind myself how far I came from the little girl afraid of saying her own opinion in the classroom. Or perhaps because I believe that my story will inspire at least one person watching this video to start working on his or her goals. Anyway, back to the present. I felt very cozy and inspired in this Arty Cafe that I stayed much longer than I planned and made one more drawing. Lately, I've been really enjoying a lot working in coffee shops that I've never visited before, instead of sitting and drawing alone over and over again in my home studio. It is very good to have a regular routine and a dedicated place for creating, but sometimes stepping out of it, changing your environment, seeing something new, is a good idea for breaking a creative slump, independent on what are you working at the moment. But now, my friends, it is time to go out and explore the rest of Forchheim during this beautiful sunny day. So let's pack and go. I didn't have any plan what to visit in Forchheim, which is also not so big deal for a small town, since everything is anyway pretty much concentrated at one place and you can really not get lost. So I just walked around, went with the flow, visited again the part called Little Venice, explored the canals with half-timbered houses, bridges with flowers, squares and little streets, filmed some really nice corners, and had fun while doing it. If you watched my other YouTube videos, you probably noticed that all these little Bavarian towns are so picturesque, calm and relaxing that for me it is really hard to decide which one I liked the most. They all have their special charm and are magical in their own way. But what I liked the most about Forchheim is that while I was walking around the center, there were almost no tourists running around, so it made my whole experience of exploring the old town very private and peaceful. And I don't know about you, but peace is really all I need nowadays. This part of the town is just behind the Marktplatz or Market Square and totally looked like from a postcard. Anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this cozy drawing session in cafe with me and sharing my thoughts about creative living. If you have a hard time with trying to accomplish some of your goals and plans, I hope that my story inspired you to be more open, to believe in yourself, and to never give up. Nothing is that hard as it seems, and if it feels hard, it is for sure worth your time and patience. Thank you for being here and for sharing this journey together. Take care. Bye.